Giannis not on the list because here's the deal. You have almost always more to gain if you haven't won a championship by winning a championship. There's only one champion on this list, so I'll spoil it as well. No Giannis and no Steph Curry on the list. You know who is? The most electrifying man in sports entertainment, number 8, Ja Morant. Ja Morant, does he become the face of the NBA with a title? He certainly fulfills the destiny of what Derrick Rose, best case scenario if he never got hurt, could have been. But I think he's better than D Rose, even though year 3 for D Rose, he won an MVP. If year 3 Ja wins a title. Number 7, Jayson Tatum. Guys, I have an announcement to make. If the Boston Celtics, forget win the title, make the finals, Jayson Tatum, there's a seat at the Superstar Club awaiting you, my friend. We have reserved it. We're starting to clean off the tables. Now, if you lose early, no, you still got to go to the club down the street with Paul George. But if you make the finals, you're a superstar, you win the title, best Celtics since Bird? I don't know. KG has something to say about that. We'll see what Antoine thinks. Number 6, Joel Embiid with a title, lock Hall of Famer, and total process redemption. The idea was get one franchise-changing player, maybe multiple, but certainly one. You win the title, you redeem the process. You're one of the 6 greatest international players ever. Joel Embiid, come on down if you win the title. Number 5, the only champion on the list, Kevin Durant. A number of things would happen. One is, he would win his own title, like Broussard's talked about, where he put the team together where it wasn't a champion already. And he would make my tweet from a few weeks ago look all the more silly. If they win the title, he is unquestionably the belt holder for best player alive. He's never been that in his career. Certainly never unquestionably been that. He would be with the title. Number 4, James Harden. Career redemption opportunity. He has more to gain than Embiid, even though Embiid's the best player. If he wins the title, then historians will not care so much about the details of how he got out of Houston, how he got out of Brooklyn. The regular season accomplishments are already off the charts. He gets one title as a major contributor. It totally changes how he's remembered. Now the top 3. Luka. Now, Luka's calf concerns me, but I am deciding to just ignore the injury as if it didn't happen, because if it did actually happen and he does have to miss time, they are totally screwed. But if he's healthy, if it was just a minor tweak, if they win the title, then you forget best player currently discussion. Luka will start to, is he on the GOAT track? Could Luka be the greatest player with the title? Maybe this would be more impressive than LeBron in 07, which put him on the GOAT trajectory by getting to the finals. If he wins a title with the worst supporting cast of any team that would have won a title in 50 years, you have to start talking about the sky's the limit for Luka. Number 2, Jokic. If Jokic wins the title, he is without question the best player alive. He gets it. Back-to-back MVP, because I think he's going to win it, and carries that team to the title. He would have a similar argument about supporting cast to win the title. There's a weird thing going on with Jokic, who's going to win MVP, where it's like, well, we can't hold, if they lose in the first round, you can't hold it against them. They're the 6th seed, as if he wasn't there for them being the 6th seed. But if they win the title, I look like a total idiot, and he looks like the best player alive. And number 1 most to gain brew is Chris Paul. Modern era point guard list if the Suns win the title. Magic, Steph, CP3. He will jump my beloved, your beloved Isaiah Thomas with the title. He becomes arguably one of the 25 greatest players of the last 50 years. What? What do you mean what? Hold on, you disagree with that? He jumps Isaiah Thomas if they win the title.
Absolutely.
If they win the title this year. Now,
no.
Oh, okay, so you agree. All right, no problem. Oh, okay, we're on the same page. Hey, here's the other reason he's number...
I'll get to it.
Here's the other reason he's number 1, Brew. He has to redeem himself for the awful hit his legacy took last year. Worst case scenario for any player we all know is making the finals and losing. So Chris Paul fell way down the lists for everybody, because you can't lose in the finals. Better off losing in the second round like he used to. Those are fine, but losing the finals not allowed. So you win the title. It's Magic, Steph, CP3 for modern era point guards. He has the most to gain.
Well, I guess you don't consider Isaiah Thomas to be a modern era point guard, because look, I was gonna say it's a good list. But I was going to say, how is CP3 number one? Because you and I both have him as I think, the 5th best point guard ever, right? Magic, Steph, Oscar, Isaiah, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I don't think a title is raising him past any of those guys. Nor do I think not winning the title is dropping him. How? Isaiah Thomas is the only superstar on earth who can say, I beat Bird in his prime. I beat Magic in his prime. I beat Jordan in his prime. And they all had top 50 teammates that I never had. How in the world is he moving ahead of Isaiah? Don't get fooled, Nick. Not you, by the analytics. No. Isaiah Thomas ain't going nowhere. And Chris Paul is not leaping Isaiah Thomas. No way.
Okay.
So that's number one. I would have Chris lower because I don't think he's moving. I think he's locked in there at number 5 as far as point guard. So it would be nice for him to win a championship. I don't think he's number 1. I got Harden number 1. And you said a lot of it. There's one huge but with James Harden. But he shrinks in the huge moments. If he were able to win a championship, it would be Philadelphia's first in almost 40 years. That would be huge. And then it's like, where do you rank James Harden? Because the regular season numbers off the charts, and then he's got a championship. It would be huge for him. And then I'd go KD, Nick. And you're right that these guys that don't have a title, I like what you said about Ja. And even Luka, I wouldn't necessarily go GOAT trajectory yet. I'd say, though, Larry Bird trajectory. I call him Luka Legend already after Larry Legend. So I'd say Bird trajectory for sure if he wins a championship.
Okay,
but I go with KD because we all know, look, and I've never thrown shade at KD's titles in Golden State. But let's be honest. We all have a mental asterisk in our mind from those championships. Those teams were stacked. I mean, and then he goes there. It was a cheat code, all right? So for him to win a championship on his own would be humongous. So I got Harden and KD first, Nick.
I think that's fair. And I heard Wild say, can we take a breath when we were talking about the Luka stuff. Again, Wilds, this is under the hypothesis of if this player wins the title. And Brew, you and I want to make this very clear to the audience. I think I have Isaiah ranked higher on my all-time list than almost anybody. You're very similar with me on this. I have massive respect for Isaiah Thomas. I just think what a championship would do for Chris Paul would. Maybe I am overstating that compared to what you think, but that is not shade at Isaiah Thomas at all. But go ahead, Wiles.
I just want to take a breath on the Luka stuff. It's just like the Larry Bird trajectory, and
what if they win the title?
I get it, but
it's Bird. He wouldn't be on Bird trajectory?
I know it's a hypothetical segment. I understand the whole conceit of it, but my gosh. Guy's in a walking boot, and we're like, I don't know, put him on the GOAT trajectory. Like, okay, so let's get out of a walking boot before we put you in Springfield. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to take shots at walking boots. Jenna. Okay.
That's okay.
I have 2 questions for you.
And then I was in the walking boot.
The first one is Steph's legacy. Steph won without KD, won with KD, hasn't won since. So I'm going to put Steph there. I think that he belongs somewhere here because I think the narrative around Steph would change. It feels like everybody has written their Steph narrative in permanent marker and just be like, yep, great team, great shooter, great legacy, Dell's son, the end, and done. But if he wins with a Clay who's not, the old Clay, and Draymond is not Draymond from 4 years ago, I think it would be interesting for his legacy. But the person I really want to focus on,
good point,
Devin Booker. What does Devin Booker need to do? What does he need to do? Everything that you're supposed to do for the superstar playbook, he has done. And everyone is just collectively like, I don't know. Why don't we give the Subway commercial to Jimmy Garoppolo? Devin Booker's agent's like, man, come on. We got the best record in the league. The guy's in the MVP conversation. He's dating a Kardashian. What do you want him to do? If he wins the finals, Progressives be like, nah, sorry, Devin Booker, we're going to go with Baker Mayfield there. The guy is a star and he can't break through. If he wins Finals MVP, I feel like he has the most to gain because he seems to be stuck. We talk about Tatum being stuck underneath the superstar, outside of the superstar club. Devin Booker, well, the poor Kendall's in there and he's waiting outside. It's ridiculous.
Booker's going to be first team All-NBA and this year. And I just think it's hard because his teammate, Chris Paul, obviously has so much more to gain. And as I mentioned, as you guys have taught me, Booker, of all these other young guys on this list don't have that scarlet letter that Booker has, which is a finals loss. They've never made it there, so they've never lost in the finals. So he's just, of the young guys, he's the only one that has to deal with that awful thing of making it to the finals and losing.
Here we go.
As far as Steph goes, Steph and Giannis would be the next two guys. I do think that with a title, I think a good contemporary debate is Steph or Kevin Durant. Where do you have them ranked on the all-time? If Steph wins a title before KD gets there and wins a title after KD leaves, and KD has no titles pre-Steph or post-Steph, then that might answer the question. So, yeah, Steph does have a lot to gain, but a lot of, I can't do a 15-person list.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.